welcome back to a new episode of What a K-Drama. We're back with our special guest, Orianthi.
Hi all!
Do you want to give a quick introduction?
So hi all, I'm Orianthi. You might have seen some of my articles on our K-Meal website, mostly in the webtoon section and some of the K-pop music capsules. And a few words about myself. Basically, I've been a fan for the past 10 years, occasionally feeling out of the loop. With newer stuff, but trying to stay on top.
Mm-hmm. So what are we going to talk about today? Today we're going to take a look at some of the biggest screenwriters in K-drama because the script is pretty important, I should say.
I'd say so.
Right? Yeah, I agree.
You'd argue it's like most of it.
The biggest
factor
of a good K-drama. So we've gathered about the 7 most prolific screenwriters, and we're going to discuss each one and take a closer look at what kind of K-dramas that they write and our general opinion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, let's start with the biggest ones.
Yeah, I mean, you can't start talking about prolific Korean screenwriters and I'm sure, and it's in your head, you're thinking it's the Honk Sisters. That's where we're starting.
Yeah. If you didn't think that, that's totally fine.
Yes.
This is a safe space. The Honk Sisters are very big. Okay.
You can read our article about them on the website.
Exactly, yeah. So some of the dramas that they've written are Hotel de Luna, A Korean Odyssey, The Master's Son, The Greatest Love, My Girlfriend is a Nine-Tailed Fox, My Sassy
You're Beautiful.
Girl. Yeah. Those are pretty big dramas.
Yeah. To be fair, like just from the ones that we just named, you've probably already watched one of them. Maybe you didn't really realize who wrote them. Maybe you did. Now you know.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. What is your favorite one? The best one?
Oh, it's not the best one.
Mm-hmm.
It has some issues, but it's my favorite one, like hands down. Is You're Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
That show.
Tell me more.
That show is insane. It has it literally has all the things. There's a cross-dressing nun. That's the main thing.
Okay.
Who pretends to be in a boy band. And it also has Duncan Sok.
Okay.
And everyone's singing. And it has one of the best second leads. We even got a second drama guest just to see that couple happen. I mean, okay.
I think that's not the first time. Oh, no, never mind. That's a different one. I didn't say anything. Continue.
Yeah, so no, You're Beautiful for sure. I'm not sure if it's their best drama. I'd say maybe A Korean Odyssey or Hotel de Luna were potentially better rounded. But just seriously, I think it's one of the most classic K-dramas that everyone should watch. If you haven't already, you're not going to waste your time doing that.
Yeah. Do they have a specific stereotype that they like to use?
One? Just one?
Okay, give it to me.
I'd say with the Honk Sisters, it's one of those writers where if you're watching their drama and you've seen another one of their dramas, you're not necessarily going to be able to put your finger on what it is, but you're going to know that it's them. They have a bit of a banter that the characters do, a lot of referential humor, a lot of meta moments.
Okay.
Sort of breaking the fourth wall a little bit. But basically, meta and references, even self-references, but also some kind of stereotype approaches to stuff. In the sense, they like to pick symbolisms and stick with them throughout the whole drama. You're beautiful.
Consistency is key.
Yeah, that happens with everything. But I think a lot of writers do this, but with them it's kind of very, very obvious.
On the nose.
Very on the nose. It's guys, we get it. Stars. We get it. Where You're Beautiful. There was this whole bit about stars and how he was a star and he was her star and they were so in love and whatever. Okay, guys.
Did the OST also talk about stars? Do you think that the meta description, breaking the fourth wall, some of those stereotypes, do you think that's part of their charm?
Oh, absolutely.
Because as some of the like biggest names in like the screenwriting scene, that's a pretty big title in such a huge industry.
Yeah, I mean, they're not like I'd say it's one of the things that makes people come back to their dramas.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think everyone would agree that the Honk Sisters dramas are consistent.
Yes.
Like, they're consistent in the sense that they're never like perfect.
Mm-hmm.
But it's fine. They're not really trying to be perfect. They're fun. They have their moments when they make you sob like a little child because you're like, I know you're about to break my heart, but damn it, you are. And then like 5 minutes later, they'll
It's
have
worse
you.
if you see it coming.
Even if you do that, yeah, like, exactly.
Yeah.
And then 5 minutes later, they'll have you just rolling on the floor. Like there's this moment again in You're Beautiful, and I'm quoting that one because I think it's the one most people would have definitely seen.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it's not spoilers if I mention stuff.
There's a spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. There's a bit where they're reading, like the boy band is reading fan fiction about themselves.
Oh!
Guys, that episode is like TV gold. Like I like to imagine like actual boy bands doing that. And I'm a little bit horrified at the thought, but it's hilarious anyway.
Fan fiction sometimes. Mwah. Okay.
Yeah, I think that was Lemon and Slash.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, so there was all that stuff, and it's things like that. And I think people kind of like coming back to, you know what to expect with a Honk Sisters drama.
Yeah.
You know it's going to be funny. You know it's going to have a lot of referential humor.
Mm-hmm.
You know it's going to have some wacky characters.
Yeah.
You know it's probably going to make you cry at points.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like, and I like that there's always some romance, but they're never just about that.
Oh,
Like,
so there's always like a main plot and then the romance kind of ties into it.
sort of, like, depending on whether the romance is like playing first gear or second gear,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not necessarily all about that rom-com.
Yeah. Gotcha. It's more layered story-wise. Okay, fair enough.
And more characters like
Yeah.
that have personalities fleshed
Mhm.
out.
That's nice.
With
That's
them-
always a plus.
Yeah, with rom-coms, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Let's go to the next screenwriter, which is Kim
You
Un-suk.
didn't tell me which one's your favorite.
I haven't seen
It's a
any.
straight question. I know.
I started Hotel de Luna and I kind of like quit halfway.
No, really?
Yeah.
I felt like if it was one of them that you would get through, that would be it.
There was. It was on my list for forever, and while I was started watching it, I was watching like 5 other shows.
That's fair.
So I should eventually get back to it because I love Ayu's acting.
IU was a badass in that show.
Oh my god, she's so good. And the fashion.
Just everything about her was perfection.
Wasn't a fan of the romance.
Oh no, nobody was.
There is something about this mythical person who's been around since, centuries, who is then dating.
This 21-year-old guy.
Exactly.
If we're cringing when this happens and the other way around, we're gonna cringe when it happens is this way. It's not just.
I was cringing through Twilight. I was cringing a little bit through Hotel de Luna because age differences sometimes,
Yeah, it's like, let's just not forget that one of these people is really, really, really
old.
Which actually ties in really well to the next author, because they also have a relationship like that.
Yes, very much so. So Kim Un-suk wrote The King Eternal Monarch, Mr. Sunshine, Guardian, The Lonely and Great God, also known as Goblin.
This is the guy that was 1,000 years old and dating a 17-year-old.
17?
Well, no, wait, there's a time skip. At some points, it's like 21. 25?
That does not make it better.
It does not. I'm sorry, but like when
God.
one of them is 1,000, like she could be 90, it would still not be better.
I know. Like, what is the appeal? Like, you've lived so long. What is this 20-year-old gonna have that you can't find?
Well, that's actually something that they do address, and it was really cool.
Okay.
I actually really like that.
Okay, tell me, because I haven't seen it. I don't know if I should now.
Like, spoiler-free version.
Oh, no, give me the spoilers. I don't know.
What I liked about that and the heroine was that, like, it's just this 16-year-old, 17-year-old, we just found out that she can essentially call upon this mighty and powerful god to show up in front of her, and she does so.
Mm-hmm.
for the smallest reason imaginable. Like,
I spilled my coffee.
it's like,
Come forth.
yeah, it's like,
Are you
oh,
for real?
I wanna refill this fridge. Please bring me stuff to put in this fridge. Or I'm bored. Please show up. And it's adorable as hell, and it's really cool because and she just turns up and goes like, oh, I love you, and she doesn't yet, obviously, but she's like, oh, I guess it's you're really rich, powerful, and important, and then care to help.
I mean, that's totally fair and valid.
But like it was really cool because she had that like whole innocent thing about saying that in a very non
innocent meaning.
In a very non like a manipulation kind of thing. It was very straightforward. It was really cool. But yeah, that show could do with fewer slow motion moments. I swear it could be a whole episode less. The whole
That's
show.
fair.
Just if you just cut out some of the slow motion.
If we haven't mentioned yet, Kathleen is behind the camera, so if we do you want to say hi?
Hi. But yeah, like Kim so great. Actually, her biggest thing is Cinderella's, and her biggest hits, like when she started making dramas, where like it's kind of like a trilogy, but not connected trilogy. There's just they're all essentially the same story, just set in different international settings. There's like Lovers in Paris, Lovers in Prague, and then just Lovers.
Whoa. I'm blushing.
It's all different sets of lovers, just to clarify. They're not just moving around, having a love affair in all these different parts of the world.
Look, I'd be here for that.
Yeah, that would probably be slightly more captivating today, I think, than those shows. It's one of those that don't really age well. I understand why they were so popular when they came out, but I don't think the fantasy for young women today is quite look at me, I'm a poor student in Paris and this Korean billionaire just fell in love with me.
I was just gonna say, is it the poor girl, rich dude?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's also poor girl, like, zero personality, rich dude.
Oh, that's even worse.
But, that's why I mentioned, the other one, because, it's really evolved, and she's not, all of her stories are essentially in some form or fashion Cinderella-ish. But not
Mr. Sunshine, though.
Not Mr. Sunshine. Mr. Sunshine is a whole exception.
Like that one.
That show is a masterpiece. That's what
in everything.
In everything.
It's so good.
Yeah.
We'll get back to that one. But you were saying.
Yeah, no, I think it's really cool that all her heroines evolve. Mm-hmm. And in a way they depict sort of what the fantasy is for the audience. I like this screenwriter because he's always saying some stuff that you think they wouldn't be saying. You'd think no, this is the silent part. But she's always saying stuff like this where she's coming out and she's oh, people are telling me you're just writing the same story. And I'm just well, people like what I write, so And
that sounds like a you problem.
Respect, lady. Respect. Exactly. And she's not really writing the same stuff. But there's archetypes and they're more common, but that's it.
Yeah, but you have archetypes in pretty much every story.
Exactly, that's it.
Let's circle back to Mr. Sunshine.
Oh my god, yes.
Because that drama is just next level, and it's just, oh my god.
I guess I'm going to ask you which one is your favorite from hers.
Yeah, that one. Obviously. It's just everything, the characters. The love story did bother me a little bit because age difference again.
It wasn't that bad there though. Considering it's also historical.
I know, but still.
With historical, I feel like we kind of need to be a little more.
It reminds me of these TikToks I watch where I want to stand an old important dude, but then it's always he married this 11-year-old. And you're just give me a name that is a good person and didn't marry his cousin that was 11. So it kind of reminds me of that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess it just comes in.
But again, I think with historical dramas, it sort of comes with the territory because there's also a little bit of what's socially okay.
That's fair. I'm still not gonna like it.
That's fair. Very fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The women though in that show. give me like the 3D, multifaceted, complicated characters. If you want that, watch Mr. Sunshine.
Yeah. Actually, no matter what you want from your drama, just watch Mr. Sunshine. It's
actually,
really
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those rare cases where we're agreeing on a drama.
Definitely.
Just take that as a great sign. We kind of fall on different genres.
Not kind of. We totally. There's a line. And
there's a bit of a line, yes.
We're on opposite
I like my shows with less murder.
I like a lot of murder.
Yes. You need to there's a fine line in between there, whereas like where there's some murder.
Well, there's quite a bit of murder in Mr. Sunshine.
That's right. But again, like with historical dramas, I think my murder threshold goes down.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Because like with historical dramas, to be fair, you kind of need to expect that the protagonist's entire family is going to be murdered in the first 5 episodes in some horrible fashion. And that's just like the backstory bit.
Yeah.
No,
but for real, Mrs. Sunshine, go watch it because so pretty. So pretty.
Yeah. And it's also interesting because it's like it's an era that's not really covered by dramas. Like most dramas would kind of go super back or just like medium back, like later Joseon era, but they wouldn't really go at that kind of in between awkward, it's modern but not exactly modern place of the Korean War, or like slightly before the Korean War, probably because it's not that far back and it's not so far out of memory.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really cool.
Really, really cool. Let's go to the next one.
Woohoo.
We are going to Song Jae-jung, who wrote Memories of the Alhambra, W2 Worlds Apart, The Three Musketeers, Coffee House, Cute or Crazy. You get the gist. I have not seen any of these.
Seriously?
Because I feel like these are all romantic.
More or less, yes. But I have actually seen quite a few of them because they're romantic. So I have seen Queen in Hyun's Man. It was not my favorite of the modern person gets thrown back into the past kind of historical drama, but it wasn't my least favorite either. I just have like a bit of I feel weird about those. I feel it's kind of hard to find a good balance about like what that person is supposed to achieve while they're there. But I've also seen Memories of the Alhambra. That's a good Hyun Bin one. Weird.
Kathleen agrees. She's
but
shaking
it's
her head.
Good Hyun Bin one. If you like Hyun Bin, you've probably watched it already. What am I saying? And W, Worlds Apart, was also
Kathleen
really
has
good.
also seen that one.
Yeah.
And she also really enjoyed it.
If I'm not wrong, was that based in a comic? I think that was based in the comic, but I'm not 100% sure. It's been a while since I watched it. 5 years when it came out.
Do you think there's like a common plot points, character that these all share that you can like kind of tell that it's from the same screenwriter?
I like that he has a bit of a fantasy element usually, but other than that, I wouldn't say that there's kind of like a telltale sign that when you're watching one of their dramas, you go like, yep, that's this guy. I think they're more sort of differentiated from story to story, and it's not like a specific appeal. So like, I'd say with the Honk Sisters, if you watch one of the dramas, you're probably watching it and thinking like, who wrote this? Because I like this kind of humor, kind of thing, and like you're looking actively for other stuff that they wrote. Like if you're watching one of his dramas, you're not necessarily looking for other stuff that this person wrote, not because they're not good, but it's not something that specifically pops up about the writing. They're just like good storytelling overall.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Do you have anything you want to share, Kathleen? No? Okay. So shy. Let's go to the next one. Let's go to Kim Eun-hye. She wrote All the Kingdoms. She wrote Signal, 3 Days, Phantom, Sign, and Harvest Villa. I have seen Signal. And I've seen like a couple episodes of Kingdom, but I need to dive deeper in that.
I've only seen a couple of episodes of Kingdom, and I really liked it. That's about it. Not a lot of this is up my alley, and also
it's more my style. It's a bit darker. With Signal we have crime, and then with Kingdom we have zombies.
Yes, zombies and Saguk. Because like,
yeah, it's an interesting combo.
I'm there.
It's an expensive combo.
Very. Korea does zombies a lot though. Train from Busan.
Yeah. Hashtag alive.
That one.
Have you seen Hashtag Alive?
No.
You should. It's very good. But also zombies. I think Kimini is interesting because apart from like Signal, I feel like that was the big changing point.
Yeah, possibly.
Because then with Kingdom, she got like famous, you know.
Yes, for sure.
Sure.
I remember like Signal being big. I just like I never really particularly got into it. You know how like you always have a backlog of like 50 dramas you're meaning to watch?
Yes.
And then by the time you finish the one you're watching, there's another one and you never get to the next one on your list. Yeah, so that's
why are you reading me like that?
yeah, I think there's a bit of the trend with all fans there.
I don't necessarily think that there's like a common denominator for like characters or story wise because they're so different. Like, how do you go from like time traveling cops to zombies? But there's always like very strong characters. Like in Signal, female characters very strong. Still kind of not happy that it didn't pass the Bechdel test, even though it was written by a woman and the main character was a woman. But here we are. It's still one of my favorite dramas, so whatever. Yeah. Kingdom does pass the Bechdel test in the first episode, even. I checked.
Well, to be fair, like I'd say most Korean dramas in general tend to pass the Bechdel test.
Yes, for sure.
The issues tend to be somewhere else, but like I'd say like even in rom-coms where considering that these are mostly marketed to women, you'd think that wouldn't be a common issue. But like with rom-coms, generally, this is where you expect stuff to fail the Bechdel test because you just kind of think that, oh, they're just going to be talking about boys the whole time. Like, nope, they're not. No. They're actually talking about their careers, their cats, everything.
Do you know what the problem is with like cop shows that have like a female lead? Is
they don't have other female characters.
Exactly!
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And to be fair, like you do have to take genre into consideration sometimes.
No.
But yeah.
I refuse.
That makes sense.
Let's go to the next one with Liu Jung, who wrote the Reply series and Hospital Playlist and also Prison Playbook. And Kathleen is very much smiling behind the camera because she likes all of those.
Yeah.
So, it's a pretty good track record, I would say.
It's an amazing track record.
Yeah.
Like, the Reply series were basically, like, outdoing each other. Like, Reply 1997 went really great. And then 1994 went even better. And then 88 was, like, one of the best Korean shows of all time. So, you know, hands down forever will be. I can just watch that show and rewatch that show and still cry at the same points every time just because it's so touching. It's just so well written. I cannot get over how good that show is. And again, everyone loves it. This is the kind of show that you want to get your parents to watch to get them into K-dramas. Worked for me.
I was just going to ask, is that what you did?
Even my dad watched this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he has issues with subtitles because they go too fast.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah.
And call back to our Netflix episode. In 1994, the subtitles gave a major spoiler as to who the husband was. Like, oh my god, guys. What the hell? Just don't. You had one job.
Is having a meltdown a little bit. If you don't see the video and just hear the audio, she's going through it.
I'm okay. I'm
happy that
I'm definitely over that.
I'm sure that's not a major trauma from your life.
I've had a very sheltered life. So that ranks pretty high, but okay. So Liu Jung, seriously, what can we say? To be fair, like the fact that a lot of the shows that they're written are kind of not sequels per se, but like thematically linked.
Yeah,
it's hard to say, that they have a thing because, well, obviously they have a thing because that's the whole bit about those series. Like, to say that they like to do ensemble casts with nostalgia. Like, yes, but also that's the whole point about the Reply series. Pretty much about Hospital Playlist as well.
Yeah, it's just a whole variety of characters and stories that all just like mesh together very well.
Absolutely.
And all have a common link.
They're human. All the stories are human and
That's it.
relatable.
All the stories are human.
I don't know if you guys heard what
Quoting
Kathleen said,
here.
but to quote her, basically, that the stories are human, and that's so true. But like I think what everyone loved about the Reply series, and I think it's the same with Hospital Playlist. Even the smallest character had a personality. You cared. Like there was this one character that you thought was kind of like the throwaway choice for the husband in the show, and you're like, oh, I'm not gonna interact. Probably not gonna care too much about them. And they had some of the most powerful moments going down, a few episodes, and you're like, did not see that coming. My emotions.
Yeah.
I think this writer has an incredible talent for bringing those things up and for fleshing them out and for making you really, really care about everyone.
Yeah.
Connecting.
Yeah, that's a pretty good skill, especially in story writing.
Yeah.
The fact that you are able to care and give so much of your heart to these like minor characters even, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, if you think about it, like the Reply series, if you're just thinking about the premise, right? The premise of, we'll just do a nostalgia fest, and we'll throw in some of the stuff that we liked when we were 17 in the 90s, and we'll throw in some famous actors, and boom, there you go. It could have gone badly so easily. Like, it's not like the premise itself is not what makes the shows good. The premise is just the premise. And the writer did an incredible job of making them the best they could be.
That's fair. And on that note, let's go to the next one. Let's go to Park Hee-ryun. She's had a pretty good run. Like, Startup, While You Were Sleeping, Pinocchio, I Can Hear Your Voice, Dream High. Those were quite big.
Yeah.
I have to say.
Yeah.
A lot of Susie.
A lot of Susie, that's very true. Also, just While You Were Sleeping is still so good.
While You Were Sleeping was really good. Actually, you recommended me to watch that, and thank you.
You're very welcome. I live to serve,
And it's another case where, they're doing stuff that is not like the stuff they were doing before, and they like to experiment with different styles, with different genres.
The stories themselves are very different.
If I'm my favorite two from this list would be Dream High and While You Were Sleeping, and with the exception of Susie,
they couldn't be further apart.
Yeah. Oh, but I do have something to say.
Oh, give it to me.
She does amazing second leads.
Yeah.
And in ways that are a little bit unexpected, like just from Dream High alone, the second lead wins.
I think the second lead in Startup wins for Kathleen as well.
100%. Yeah.
It's like, no, not wins for the audience, like actually wins.
Like,
the second
lead
gets the girl. And it was like, and
spoiler?
It's not a spoiler. That show came out like 10 years ago, literally. Spoiler alert. In a show that came out 10 years ago. No, but I mean, because there was obviously the guy that the girl was with, and they actually liked each other, and they sort of started dating, and then life happened, and things changed, and the girl started liking the other guy that had been in love with her since the beginning, essentially, and you could argue that technically he was the lead all along, and the other guy was the second lead, but not really, because they were both equally leads in the sense of the show. They were both equally protagonistic characters. So yeah, it was did not see that coming. Good for you. But yeah, no, I think she has a really good I always fall for the second lead. I'm a bit of a dork for that.
No.
No?
Not often. Also, in the dramas I watch, there's usually not a second lead, or at least
for these dramas, yeah, 100%.
Oh, for While You Were Sleeping, yes.
For While You Were Sleeping, Startup. Don't remember the high one. Don't remember
Dream High.
Dream High.
You've watched Pinocchio as well.
Who was the second lead of Pinocchio? Don't remember.
It's okay. No, but like, Reply to 1994, I'm still not over that. I'm never going to be over that. Yeah, here it's kind of like, I always like the second lead, then she does a really good job of making them actually proper characters, because the problem I think with second leads, and the reason why second lead syndrome is a thing, but it's not always warranted, is that sometimes they're just made to be the lead's foil. They're just like there to fill in the gaps, like, oh, the lead did this wrong, but look at the second lead doing it perfectly correctly. It's like, now fall in love with them instead, you audience, and watch while the protagonist completely ignores them. But like, I don't feel like she does it in that way. It's just like, these are two separate people and they're not each other's foil. Like, yes, obviously they're not going to do the exact same thing, but it's not like, this is where one succeeds, this is where one fails. But also see here this person's sad backstory.
Yeah.
No, so that's why I love her second leads, because they're not just foil.
They're a complete character.
They're fully fleshed.
And the whole second lead thing is more like a love triangle rather than they're just there.
Yes.
To exist.
Yes.
They're actively part of the story. Yeah.
Yes. And yes.
I'm not a fan of love triangles.
Well, I'll take one love triangle per story. There's some stories that have way too many of them, and at that point, you're just like, is it a triangle? Is it
it's a love square?
What the hell is happening? There was this whole comic called Honey and Clover. At some point, there were so many love triangles on there that it was impossible to keep track of. I can't even count them.
Did people have a whole spreadsheet?
It was we probably needed one. That's fair. Low key, no joking. Yeah, so I'll take one love triangle. That's as many as I can take. More than that, you're like, okay, just do something else with your writing.
So I feel like the love triangle is the common.
Not necessarily.
A little
bit, yeah.
I mean, because the stories are so different.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say that it's the common denominator. I'd say that she tends to write them in there and she writes them good.
Yeah. Well, she does a very good job. I
That's it.
legit enjoyed watching while you were sleeping. I've even rewatched it.
That's like commitment levels.
I know. We're basically married.
Rewatching Korean dramas. That's I know 20 hours of your life.
I know. Yeah, I have a couple. 3.
I say and overwatch Friends. I don't even know.
Let's go to the next one. The last one that we wanted to talk about is Park Ji-hoon, who wrote Crash Landing on You, The Legend of the Blue Sea, The Producers, Love from the Star, My Husband Got a Family, Queen of Reversals, and My Wife is a Superwoman.
I loved Queen of Reversals when it came out. I don't remember it too well at this point, but I remember I really enjoyed it. And I don't even need to talk about Crash Landing on You again. We established that I really, really love that show. I think it's incredible. Just our emotions. Our emotions.
That's the second meltdown.
Or yeah. Legends of the Blue Sea was really good as well. The Producers, I think it was. We all know the issues the producers had, or if you've seen it, you know the issues the producers had.
I haven't seen it. I just know that IU was in it. Right?
IU was in it, and we loved her, as we love her and everything, because she's amazing. But I think basically the network did some really fun things. By fun things, I mean they shot all over it. Because they were essentially jerking them around. They were like, oh, we'll do this before sending it to audiences. They'll film everything and then they'll start airing. In Korea mostly they tend to just
film half and then
go from
there.
there. And then the original intent they had for the show was not super well received with audiences. So halfway through they completely changed their tune. But at that point
they filmed everything.
They changed from there on, and it kind of didn't make a lot of sense. The first half feels like a different show from the second half.
Okay.
Which is a shame.
Yeah.
It's not it's a show that had more potential than what we got. Which is a shame. especially because it was really touted in advance. One of the reasons it was really touted in advance was because it was from this screenwriter.
Yeah.
Actually, because like pretty much everything she's written has been gold.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah, my love from the start was massive. Massive.
Kathleen is agreeing behind the camera.
Love the main boy.
Who was the main boy?
What's his name?
He was in It's Okay Not to Be Okay, the lead.
Yeah.
Oh, that dude!
Also
okay.
the guy from Dream High. Also the guy from The Producers. Seriously,
wow.
I just really need to remember his name right now.
It's not gonna happen.
He's
Sorry.
in like 5 of the shows we've mentioned.
I know his face.
We all know his face.
It's kind of hard not to know his face.
No, but I mean like, we're all just collectively failing right now.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, come on.
Kim Soo-hyun.
Thank you.
Okay.
Kim Soo-hyun. Yeah.
He's
Sorry
very
for
good.
that.
Love him.
Yes. Oh, he was the second lead who ended up being the main lead in Dream High, by the way.
Oh!
He got the girl.
Okay. Wow, look
Alright.
at him. Oh my god. What was your favorite of Park Jun? Because you've seen most of these as well, Kathleen.
My Love from the Start.
My Love from the Start. Okay.
Crush Landing on You.
Mm-hmm.
And The End of the Blue Sea.
Fair.
But Kim
So half of
Soo-hyun, Imino, Hyunbin. Yeah.
That's fair. Was that the one with the mermaid?
Yes.
Oh, I need to watch it. Wait, should I watch it?
Yes.
That doesn't look like a very convincing.
Maybe.
Potentially.
It's like,
Maybe.
it's like, okay, so all of these are very romantic, obviously. It's a whole, this is a rom-com plus other stuff kind of thing. This is a romantic drama.
Okay,
There's
but
no
if it has
calm.
mermaids in it, I might.
Maybe. But just
Forgive.
to clarify, this is rom. There's no calm.
Oh, there's not even calm.
A bit.
There's a little calm. Not,
Maybe we should say the full word.
yeah, no, it's not fair enough. I'm pronouncing it clearly enough. But yeah, no, so this is not really, so there's not comedies.
Uh-huh.
These are dramas.
Uh-huh.
There's funny moments, obviously, and there's like comedic relief characters, but these are not
The romance.
romantic comedies. These are just romance,
Okay.
hardcore.
That's
But it's
fair.
also not melodramas.
Oh, that might help then.
Yeah, no, like if you're saying melodramas, you're thinking Kim Soo-hyun, Kim Yoon-suk,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not for you.
I'm being read to Phil here, by the way.
No, but it's fair. It's fair. No, but it's fair.
It is, yeah.
If we're doing thriller dramas, you'd be telling me there's way too many dead bodies here, or
Yeah, probably.
just,
Yeah.
Nah.
Avoid.
avoid. But like no, with this one, it's not melodramas.
Mhm.
Like just because they're dramatic doesn't mean
Yeah.
they're mellow. And
Mhm.
seriously, Crash Landing on You was such an incredible drama. The chemistry, the writing, everything. Like they didn't overdo anything about it. Like how we said before, like the star thing was overdone,
Mhm,
or there's like sometimes
The parachute thing wasn't overdone.
no. There's like we just see the parachute once.
I was joking.
Fair. I did not get that.
That didn't land. Did you get it?
I got it now. Second time's a charm. But yeah, no, like and yeah, like and the two leads were just so good with each other.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Fair enough.
yeah.
As a last thing that we discovered while doing the research for this,
And you may have noticed while we were talking.
yeah. So all of the screenwriters that we mentioned are female. And when I was talking about it earlier with Kathleen, I was like, look at these women.
Being
You
bosses.
go, girl. But then Kathleen mentioned that if we compare it to the amount of women in the producing field, in the directing field,
Or even in women screenwriters for film, as opposed to TV, which is traditionally a more
yeah,
female medium.
yeah, there's just a lot less women that are holding the fort there.
Yeah.
So get me some more female producers and directors, please. Por favor.
But yeah, that said, like it's still really cool that there's so many women writers, as
Oh,
screenwriters.
100%. Yeah.
I don't think it's random that they're so big and that they're so successful.
Mhm.
And so I'm actually like, I think it's really cool, and I think it shows what kind of stuff people are watching. And I'm gonna quote like Kim Yoon Suk again because she said something really cool about she doesn't write stories based on like her past relationships. She writes from her fantasy.
She'd have some pretty crazy relationships.
She'd have to have some
just
pretty
saying.
crazy, but yeah, that's fair. A lot of that must have been a very dramatic sort of like
Yeah, my
fascination
God.
thing. But no, like she says, she writes from her fantasy because it's kind of what people wanna see, wanna experience when they're watching a romance TV show, right?
Yeah.
And that's true.
Yeah.
To a certain degree, it's not the only thing that we want to see, but that's definitely one of the things we want to see.
Yeah.
I think that the land well because they're sort of they're feeding into the fantasy of the audience.
Yeah. Which I think a lot of the audience is female as well.
Absolutely.
So it makes sense that they want to see women's stories on the screen so that they can relate to those characters. I think that was pretty much it for this episode. I think we've had some pretty interesting talking points. We've covered a lot of these dramas on the kmail.com. So if you want to go and check the reviews for those, you can do that there. If you want to see the video, you can subscribe to our Patreon and just go check us out on our socials. And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye bye.